Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome out to another episode of According To Kaz Queen. And as always, I'm Kaz.
And I'm Queen.
And these are conversations brought to you by a husband and wife in the privacy of our own home, right here where we're sitting at, as a matter of fact, that we bring to you guys, sometimes to make you laugh, sometimes to make you think, but as always, to be introspective. We want to open the lines of communication up between husbands and wives, friends and lovers, men and women, all that good stuff, man. We are coming to you, all right, on all streaming services, all of them. All right, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. We are on Black with No Chaser Radio. All you got to do is download the BWNC Radio app. You know the drill every week. All right, download the BWNC Radio app, and you can check us out on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook. All right, we are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We're on TikTok. You can check us out in all those places, and of course, we are on YouTube. All right. Subscribers are starting to go up. We're pushing up. We are less than 50 subscribers away from 1,000, slowly climbing as we get up to 1,000. We're going to try to monetize this thing, man. We appreciate y'all for sticking with us. YouTube.com/Brad Kamikaze Franklin. That's YouTube.com/Brad Kamikaze Franklin. You'll see that right here on the screen, right there. If you're listening to us, of course, you can just type that in, youtube.com/Brad Kamikaze Franklin. Check us out there. And this is brought to you by the Kundi Collection. All right. This is one of my favorites right here. Love and protect. Love, honor, and protect Black women. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorites right here. As a matter of fact, you can get that at www.kundicollective.com, www.kundicollective.com. Check it out. We got a lot of designs over there as well. And of course, if you want us to talk about something, if you got a relationship problem, you got a marriage problem, you just got something that's going on that you want us to talk about, hit us on the email. It's real easy, kazandqueen@gmail.com. It's kazandqueen@gmail.com, KAZ and Queen, QUEEN @gmail.com. Email us, and we'll talk about it right here on the platform. So, you know, on this particular episode, as we were getting ready, my bride said that we're going to be shooting something. All right. Not shooting as in pow, pow, bang, bang. But,
well,
you know,
that depends on how you say it.
If it's us, we're going to be talking about liquor because we are connoisseurs of liquors, and we have a bar that is within walking distance of us right now that we enjoy the libations on just a regular average weekday. So there's a bottle that's been sitting on our bar for a second. And, you know, we don't usually do the endorsing thing because we're not getting paid to do it. So if you're not really paying us to advertise, we don't really do it. But we'll show you some love. There's a bottle of Old Smoky.
You're going to show it?
I'm going to show it.
That's really giving too much.
Yeah, we're giving a lot. Old Smoky, Tennessee, peanut butter whiskey. All right. I'm talking about when you get a whiff of it, you getting that peanut buttery. That peanut, you see my eyes when I'm doing this right here? This is getting the aroma, that peanut buttery.
Why are you saying
smell?
Peanut?
It's peanut buttery. It's peanut butter whiskey, all right? Mountain Made, all right, from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I don't know if any of you guys ever had this Old Smoky Gatlinburg, Tennessee peanut butter whiskey. It's been sitting on the bar for a minute.
Stop saying peanut.
I said peanut.
No, you didn't. You said peanut.
I said.
You can watch it back.
They know what I said. Peanut, man. I said peanut. At any rate. I saw a nice little shake. I think it was like a milkshake or something that they was making with this. And I brought it up to you. And, you know, occasionally I say a lot of stuff in this house and I see stuff. And, you know, my wife kind of half listens to me a lot of the times. I say things and she'll just nod her head. And she's not really paying attention to what the fuck I'm talking about. But I said something about the peanut butter whiskey. She kind of dismissed it. I don't know what led her in there today to go in there and try the peanut butter whiskey. I guess it was because the bottle was just open. We don't have very many bottles that are not opened on our bar. And she checked it out. And when I got in the house, she was like, you know what we got to do? We got to take some shots on the podcast tonight of this delicious liquor that I'm drinking here. So I thought it was maybe, you know, some of the Jack, some of the Bamboo, some of the other things that we have tasted that we liked before in the dark liquor. She was like, no, the Tennessee peanut butter whiskey. I like it. I was like, okay, this is what I was trying to tell you about several weeks ago, and you were not paying attention. So we have it now. We're going to take a quick little shot of this to get started. And if you're listening to us, if you'd like to take a shot of whatever you have there, you
Here's
make this
to
up.
love and life.
Here's to love and life. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. Oh, my God.
It's delicious, ain't it?
Whoa.
It's delicious. It's so smooth.
It is smooth.
It almost tastes creamy.
Peanut buttery.
And the smell stimulates you enough to want to enjoy the taste.
Oh, my God.
It's really delightful, guys.
Old Smoky.
It's really delightful.
So anybody out there that drinks Old Smoky,
Chime
get
in.
it. Chime in.
Are
Peanut
we
butter
late
whiskey.
to the party, or is this
We might be
something
late to
new?
the
What's
party.
up? Tell us where we at.
Old Smoky, peanut butter whiskey. I'm going to tag y'all in this post. So, we're not monetizing just yet, but we do have a loyal following. But down here in Jackson, Mississippi, we do love our liqueur. So,
and especially whiskey. We some whiskey
we
folks.
love whiskey. So, holla at us. For sure, we're going to drink it and we'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We love to do so. And we don't do it often. You know what I'm saying? We usually don't even show labels because they're not paying us. So we don't show them.
But that could change.
That could change. We'll manifest it.
That's right.
We will manifest being able to endorse some products on here because we going to drink it. And that's nice and warm. I got a nice warm peanut buttery feeling. It's like I had a delicious peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No.
Yes.
No.
That's what it feels like to me.
It's
You can't
like
tell me how I
It's
feel.
like you had a hot chocolate with some with melted Reese's.
With some meat. Well, yeah. And some peanut. The stuff they used to put on the parfait at McDonald's. The peanut butter parfait. Was that McDonald's or was that Dairy Queen?
I don't know how to eat that.
You eat the peanut butter parfait?
No.
What was the peanut butter parfait? Was that was McDonald's? Yeah.
Maybe.
And they put the caramel on top of it.
Possibly.
And then one you could put the straw. You didn't eat that?
No.
Oh, you didn't. I guess you didn't eat McDonald's, huh?
No, I don't. I just don't. I'm a plain Jane type of girl. I
You was
don't
like,
need all that.
no. What is that? A peanut butter parfait? Oh my
You
word!
wrong for that. That is not what I did.
I would never a peanut butter parfait.
Every now and then, he likes to act like I get bougie on him.
That's crazy. You mean to tell me you the peanut butter parfait?
Baby, I don't. I just want vanilla or chocolate.
Did you eat a
pecan.
Butterfinger Blizzard from Dairy
Only
Queen?
Blizzard I've ever had in my entire life is Oreo,
Oh my God!
and that's because I like it. And if you like it, why you gotta get something else? Get what you know you like.
Speaking of which, because you're extremely bougie with your eating, I put a post up today on my page, and kind of talking about a subject that people have been talking about fine dining in your city, going out to drink in your city, and the prices that it is taken now for you to be able to go out and enjoy yourselves, and how high the drinks are, and how high fine dining is. Somebody posted a receipt from a black-owned restaurant here in the city that we're in Jackson, Mississippi, and I think it was like $200. And it was from last year, as a matter of fact, so I don't know how it resurfaced again. I know people try to post things to be insightful and to go viral, which it did. The ticket was $200 and something, and the drinks was high and the food was high, and people were like, hey, I'm not going to patronize that place. The prices are high. The service is not good. The cost of whatever. And then you had your contingent of people that were saying, well, y'all are just broke if you don't want to go out. And then some people were saying, I'm not broke. I just don't want to pay those prices. Your fine dining experience, my fine dining experience are two different things. I, for one of the reasons is because my wife has a very discerning palate. And there's only like maybe 4 things in the world that she eats, and variations of those 4 things. Those 4 things, and then derivatives and variations from those 4 basic things. One of them being potatoes, one of them being chicken. I don't know what
You really gotta just stop.
It might be derivatives of just chicken and potatoes, really, to be honest with you. So me being the guy that I am, I'm not about to go spend $200 on an experience where I don't know if my wife is going to enjoy what she has and what she's eating. One of my biggest pet peeves, and I got this from my parents, and I just got this from just being the guy that I am, I abhor wasting food. I can't do it. I have gone in and gorged myself and ate myself to the point of sickness to eat things sometimes just to not throw them away. I've gotten a little bit better. I won't say better, but I have, in recent times, I've thrown away lunches that I didn't get a chance to eat during the week. And I've thrown away, large amounts of food just basically because it just didn't get eaten and I'm just done with it at the time. But I really feel bad throwing away food. I really feel bad. I like to finish all the portions of everything that you cook all the time. Everything that we buy, I like to finish the portions of food.
Yeah,
I like
but
to be done with it.
Very rarely happens.
Very rarely happens. There's an African restaurant in our town that I would very much like to go and patronize because I want to eat some African food, some African fare. Have not gone because my wife looked at the menu and says, I don't know what any of this stuff is, so I don't want to go.
Woo, woo. Baby, you was on one today.
I'm just saying, that's what you said. I don't know what any of this stuff is, so I don't want to go. Now, me being smart enough, having been married to my wife for 14 years and being with her over 20 years, when she says, I don't know what any of that stuff is, we would go to an African restaurant and she would be trying to order chicken nuggets or wings. She would be looking for the one thing that she recognizes on that menu out of all of this exotic food, and she would order wings. And that is ridiculous because we can get wings anywhere.
It seems like to me that you would want me to get something that I'm going to complete, since it's so important to you not to waste food.
I wouldn't go to the African restaurant where there's all of this African fare and order some stuff that you can get anywhere. That's not the point.
I agree. You should go.
I want to go with you. You should go. I want our daughter to try African. I want them to try authentic African food.
I think that would make a wonderful daddy-daughter date.
You should go. Why won't you go and try the food? Why won't you go and try it? Why won't you go and eat it?
I will go and eat it.
Are you just saying at the end of the conversation?
It's not like I haven't heard of these foods. I've had them before. I grew up
yes, you
in
did.
an Afrocentric home. So I've
I don't
had
understand
them before.
it.
They are not to my liking. And I did not call it stuff. That is not the accurate word that I said. But anywho,
so I'm not wasting my hard-earned money to take you in there to play over food. It hurts my feelings. Like it seriously sticks with me over time. The froyo that we got a couple of days ago.
Oh my God.
You took 3 bites off of it, and then we had to end up throwing it away, and it hurt my feelings for the rest of the day.
It did not get thrown away. It is in the freezer.
You're not going to eat it, baby. I've also been married to you long enough to know that freezer stop is just the stop that you put it before we eventually throw it in the garbage. I already know what that is. That's crazy. The freezer spot is like, I'm going to sit it in here to act as if I'm going to come back to it, but I'm really not coming back to it. I'm just going to sit it in here, and in a couple of days when he goes in here to clean out this freezer, he's going to throw it away. And I'm going to ask you, hey, are you done with this froyo, baby? And you can be like, yeah, I'm done with it. You can throw it away. It's going to be a full cup of froyo sitting in there. That's sitting in there right now.
There have been times, though, you went in there and threw away something that I actually planned to eat.
I'm not doing that anymore, but that's very rare that happens. First of all, I'm a little scared sometimes, and I have to go ahead and throw the food away because you have a predilection to let food sit for a few days. Like, sometimes food has been in there for like 3 or 4 days, and you'll be like, oh, no, I was going to put that in the air fryer, and I was going to eat it. No, it's not. It is... It's mold on it. It's been in here for days. What are you doing? Like, food doesn't just keep like that, man. Like, I don't know.
He's being extreme, guys.
I'm not being extreme.
He's being a bit extreme.
I'm not. I'm not being
telling me
extreme.
that I keep food till mold get on it.
Okay, mold is a little bit of an exaggeration, but you keep it well past the time when you should still be trying to eat it.
How is this relative to spending money out?
My point is, at the end of the day, people have different goals when they go out. My goal going out is when I go to drink, I'm drinking to get buzzed. When I get buzzed, I'm done. That's my aim. When I go out to eat, I'm going out to eat to be sustained. I want to get full. Once I get full, that's it. I don't care how my plate looks. I don't care about taking a picture of my plate. I'm not going out so I can brag to somebody that I spent $200 in a place to eat and drink. I'm not paying more than $12 for a drink, maybe $15 depending on what the shot is. But there are some places where the drinks are like $20, $25 for you to drink. Not when I got a bar in here.
So you just want to go to all the BYOB places?
I mean, I prefer BYOB. I'm just saying it off the top, but it's ridiculous. If I'm trying to get buzzed, I'm not finna get buzzed drinking no $25 drink. You think I'm finna spend $50 to get buzzed? And you're looking at it as, oh, I want to go to some of the high end. I mean, what is the experience that you're trying to get, especially for someone who only eats two things on the food spectrum? What is the experience you're trying to get? Explain that to me.
First of all, I don't eat and drink. I eat or drink. So if I'm drinking, I'm probably not going to eat very much, if at all. I'll put enough to coat my stomach.
Which is weird because you should be eating if you're going to drink.
I'm a work in progress now. I never said I had this thing licked. I'm just telling you what it is. Mm-hmm. But I do like to engage in the ambiance. Sometimes I want to go to a place just because it's a nice place to go to. And I expect to pay to be in that place. Now, on a regular date night, when we just getting out just to hang out with each other, I don't expect to go to a high-end restaurant. That's just not something I need. I'm not passing judgment on anybody who does want that.
Right.
But for me, it's just not necessary. What's more important to me is that you're having a good time and I'm having a good time. If the drinks are cheaper, we'll probably drink more and have a better time. So I really ain't tripping off of that. But I don't like this blanket idea that I'm only going to spend $12 on a drink. Like if we're somewhere and the drinks cost $25 and the atmosphere and everything feels good and I'm having a good time, then not $25, but $16, $17 for a drink. I feel like that goes with the ambiance, and I'm okay with paying.
What is the ambiance that you're looking for? Because I'm trying to think of a scenario where I'm in a place where it's so lit that I'm finna go to the bar and spend $25
it's
on a drink.
probably
What's
places
happening?
that we don't go to.
I mean, give me an idea. You talking about a fine dining experience because that's where you're gonna go and pay $20. I mean, unless of course, there are some places in Atlanta and other places in big cities where you might pay $25.
If you go to a fine dining restaurant here, like I'm not going there to kick it. I'm going there for a date. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? For conversation, for the food, for a specialty drink. Something like that. But that's totally different than us going out to Last Call or to Names and Faces, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or someplace like that where it's about the kicking it, And
Last Call and Names and Faces are places in Jackson, Mississippi that you can go. And Last Call is actually a place that you can go and you're going to probably get drunk off of one drink because they pouring heavy in Last Call. I don't know if they pour heavy in some of the places that y'all go to, but they pour really heavy. One mixed drink, $8, and you slumped over.
And that's what you want.
I have sometimes not even finished the whole one drink, just depending on what's happening. And for me, that's what I want. My aim when I'm drinking is to get buzzed. When I'm feeling good and I'm buzzed, that's it.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Because on one hand, I would rather go someplace where we can bring a bottle as well. That's
absolutely
more my stilo. That way I can drink as much as I want by a setup and I can drink as much as I want. Mm-hmm. How often I want, don't have to leave my table, ain't got a food with the bar. You know what I'm saying? Because half of my issue is I just simply don't want to go to the bar because it's too many people and it's too chaotic. So I just simply don't want to go to the bar. So that kind of eliminates some of the places that I'm going to go to kick it anyway. So it's just a matter of what the aim is for the evening.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to get comfortable with this cap thing that you got on the amount that you're going to spend, because it might be a good time we can have, and it might not be a $8 drink type of place.
It might not be. $10 is fine.
That boy said 10 is cool.
10 is fine. I'm telling you. Like, I'm not really big on, I don't understand what the difference is. Like, you got to explain to me the atmosphere that I'm going to get that's going to be different. Like, what's the atmosphere going to be differently in the place where I'm going to go and get slumped on the one drink? What's the atmosphere?
That I done put on some clothes. I done got makeup done. I done got my hair done. I'm looking fly. I am ready to have all your attention all night long, so you can. It's just about me.
And if we do that, I'm prepared in that moment. We have those moments.
Yeah,
I'm prepared in that moment to go, and I already know I'm finna spend $150 out the gate off the rip.
And that's why we don't have no problem. Because
I
I
already
ain't
know.
always on that. I'm very
Correct.
rarely on that, as a matter of
When
fact.
we own that, we own it. And I know ahead of time, and I'm prepared to spend $150, $200. I already know it. But just on a humbug, like on a regular night, like some people are going out regularly. And plus, we're not in that age bracket anymore. You're not finna get multiple nights out from us at all whatsoever. You're lucky if you get one night out from us, because we be tired. But, you know, for those that do it spontaneously, nah, if we have a spontaneous night out and we happen to roll out somewhere and stop at a bar and get a drink, nah, I'm not finna go somewhere where I'm finna spend.
And it ain't really got nothing to do with whether you have the money or not. It's just
Yeah.
simply about what you want to spend your money on.
Exactly.
Like we don't figure that kicking it is something that's as pressing as our daughter getting ready for graduation.
Yeah, or buying stock for the Kundi Collective for us to get,
or keeping my shop
Yes,
inventory in the
Prodigy
shop.
in
Like
shop.
there are in fact, kicking it is way down the list because we could just stay at home and go to the bar in the other room. So kicking it is way down our list.
Yeah.
So when y'all see us out, we are intentionally out. There's
Yes.
gonna be some revelry. There's gonna be some foolishness. There's gonna be some drunkenness.
there has been a conversation.
Yeah.
It ain't no came home, hey, let's go to such and such. No, we have talked about it. We have made a plan, and we execute. When you see us out, we execute the plan at that moment. And we know where we going, and we know how lit we going to be or how lit we not going to be. We know at what point we coming back home.
But back in the day, when we went out every weekend, or in my case, Wednesday through Sunday,
yes.
then, that was something different. That was the important part. That was the priority. Nowadays, it's just not.
This is not the priority. And if it is for you, that's cool.
It is. That's
If
cool.
you don't, you don't have to get on social media and blast the black business for their prices. Their prices are their prices. Especially if you're not going to do the same thing about white-owned establishments. If you don't choose to go to these establishments, it's fine. It doesn't mean that you're broke. And if you go to these places, it does not mean that you got it.
And if you're drinking Top Chef, it's going to cost more. So
Either way it goes.
Maybe you just need to tell them to give you something off the bottom or something from the house, and then you'll be all right.
That's cool, too. So something else that I saw, as a matter of fact, I want to get your thoughts on it because you attended an HBCU. I attended an HBCU. There was a big dust up today because a gentleman made a post and he said, I'm glad that I did not go to a school where I had to have a black alumni weekend. So
A black person?
yes. Mississippi State just had their yearly Black Alumni Weekend, which is the Black Alumni of Mississippi State. Ole Miss has one as well. USM has one. These schools have black student unions and things of that nature.
So he means it didn't have to be, that it had to be separate.
Yeah,
Not just an alumni weekend.
He said, I'm glad I didn't have to go to a school where we had to distinguish and give a week of an entire year to the black alumni, even at a facility that probably doesn't even care if you were there or not to begin with. And it raised the ire of a lot of people who, of course, went to Mississippi State and Ole Miss and USM, and it got a little testy back and forth, and JSU was finna close and that kind of things, and it got into a whole thing. But I have my thoughts about it. But you, being a Tougaloo, having attended Tougaloo and a HBCU, but also knowing people that have gone to these other PWIs as well, the idea of having a black alumni weekend. What do you think about that?
It's the same thing as having a Black History Month.
Okay. Meaning?
Every other month is just regular. So we have to have a time that actually brings attention to us because nobody gives us attention.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing. Like Alumni Weekend is going to be centered around the majority of the students, which is white and PWIs.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to kick it with your people and listen to what you want to listen to and listen to hip hop and listen to, and do what we do because we do things differently, then that's what you got to do. I mean, I don't know. I don't really get the big deal about it, actually.
I've never heard or I've never seen the back and forth about it to this particular level. Mississippi State kind of promotes, because I have a lot of people on my timeline that participate and plan it and go to it. I got a lot of people that went to state on my timeline for whatever reason, black folks. I got a lot of USM people on my page too. The Ole Miss people, it's not a lot of them on my page. And we're talking about, the PWIs that are in Mississippi, as a matter of fact, for those that are listening to us from other states. But, I thought it was cool because it gave you an opportunity to kind of express your culture in that setting. But also at the same time, you don't get recognized at any other point on the campus. And from what I've seen, the trouble that they've had in putting these events together and coordinating with the campus, there was a time when the campus didn't even recognize this as an actual thing. I think that's different now, but it's kind of like, segregating the black folks to this little 1 week during the year for y'all to have this time. And then any other time, we're not really acknowledging your blackness. You're just here.
So I went to Clinton High.
Mm-hmm.
There was a small cluster of black people at Clinton High when I went to Clinton High, and we were able to build a bond just on that alone.
Mm-hmm.
And they have reunions and get-togethers and stuff all the time. Have zero interest in going, but if the black people get together and say, we're getting together for homecoming and this is what we're doing and we're doing this and then I'm ready to go to that, because those are the people that I have built my relationships with. I cannot name a single solitary white person I went to Clinton High School with.
Not one.
I know some names, but if I saw them, I don't know that I would know that was them.
Okay.
Because my energy was put into building these relationships with black people.
Mm-hmm.
And I came from, I was raised in a black school. So, and then I went to New York and went to a white school, and I was, I didn't really get involved in it. It was a Catholic school, so nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came back and went to Clinton High, I immediately went towards what I know, which was the black folks.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I can understand. I mean, I have no interest in going to the regular reunions. Now, most of the other people, the black people who come to the black functions, also go to the white functions.
Mm-hmm.
Not as many, but some of them do. I have no interest in going, because what I'm going for is to catch up with the people that I built relationships with.
Right.
And those were not the white people.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it just depends on the experience that you had at college.
It does. I mean, I went to a high school that was...
Or high school.
I went to a high school that was mixed. I went to St. Joseph High School here in Jackson, and I went before it actually moved into the suburbs. We were in the inner city at that time, and I'm still in touch with my black classmates for pretty much the most part, because we didn't really have that many people in our graduating class. It was like 100-something people. Still kind of in touch with some of the white people, but most of the black people I still see around and still kind of have, contact with. Jackson State. When I went to Jackson State, that was actually my first time being in an atmosphere that was predominantly or mostly black. It was the first time, my first educational experience in that sense. And, it was wild because I just interviewed the new president for Jackson State University, who also went to St. Joe. He came in a few years after I did. So, when you went to school with him earlier and y'all came up through the Catholic school system, which is mixed as well. Mm-hmm. And Jackson State and Tougaloo for you was probably your first majority black experience as well. Mm-mm. It wasn't?
I went to the Black and Proud School, child.
Well, yeah.
I went to Black and Proud School, then St. Mary's, then moved to New York and went to another Catholic school, then came to Clinton High.
So was the Catholic school in New York mixed?
Yes, but it don't really count because it was all girls. Mm-hmm. So the experience was kind of different for me. And it was way more diverse than just black and white.
Like Hispanic.
Yeah, it was all types of races and nationalities, so it was really different. I don't even count that really, because I didn't really have any type of cultural understanding at that point. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of going there, still trying to understand. My biggest issue in New York was South versus North.
Because you were from the South.
Because I was from the South.
You were a Southerner. Yeah.
And there was another girl who was in my class who was new to New York, and she was from the South, but she was white. So it was the measurement against
and her
black
experience
South and white South.
Yeah, her experience was much different. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't like having these kind of discussions in public, and I hate that it's kind of playing out in public like that. But it's also not cool when the people that went to the PWI start taking shots at the HBCUs, which is kind of what I saw happening in the shares. And then when you do that, it's kind of telling about your thought process when you do that at the end of the day, because at that point, I think you're kind of defending something and defending folk who would not go to bat for you in the same instance. Because I can guarantee you at each of those individual institutions that there are some white folks at those institutions that are against y'all having this particular week. Guess what'll happen if this DEI, this diversity stuff that they're trying to wipe out, that they've wiped out in Florida and some other places? Guess what happens if it gets passed here in Mississippi, like Shad White is trying to pass this DEI stuff, and they take out diversity and inclusion programs? Guess what'll happen? Y'all might not even be having Black Alumni Weekend at these schools. As a matter of fact, if they cut that out and they say that everything has to be equal across the board, you might not even have it, and you might not even have the support of that university. So be careful, taking shots at the HBCUs, because at the end of the day, you went to the school that you went to, and that's cool. But, those of us that went to HBCUs, I think we're in the right because we went there, and the reason that we're even at HBCUs in the first place, I think we're well within our rights to, question, your allegiance to these PWIs. But
I disagree with that.
Then again,
it's not your right to question. So my thing
not
is
not getting a degree. I mean, allegiance to it.
I think people need to, when you have an opinion about something that is not your experience, you have to recognize that it is just your opinion. You can't expect people to feel the way you feel because you had a different experience. I mean, you have the experience you have because you went to an all-black school. They didn't. So their experience is not yours. They're not going to share your opinion, but they have the right to their own. If they feel like they need to have a Black Alumni Weekend, fine. You don't need that because every weekend was a Black weekend.
Absolutely.
So what's the argument about? It's like apples and oranges.
I mean, at the end of the day, to each his own. And if that's the experience that y'all had to have, that's cool. And if you had to go to one of these institutions because they offered a course that you couldn't get at HBCU, or they offered an experience that you couldn't get at the HBCU, or you couldn't get the financial aid to be able to go to the HBCU, that's not what I'm talking about. I don't have a problem with that. People have to end up going to different institutions for different reasons. I know that a lot of HBCUs don't have the particular courses that some people need. That's cool. But after the fact, you're still Black. And for me, having that super strong allegiance with that particular PWI, for you to say, well, Jackson State's finna close, or you need to worry about keeping your school open, or something along those lines, attacking the folks that are at the HBCUs, then I got to question that at the end of the day, because, I know you went to the PWI because you needed to get that degree, but at the end of the day, they really not fucking with you like that.
So ultimately, this is a measurement about why you went to a PWI instead of going to a HBCU. In
some instances, yeah, or why some people went to HBCU instead of going to a PWI. It's both sides of the coin.
That's so ridiculous that people are on that. That's so
and
ridiculous.
we're having
frivolous, it's ignorant, it's wasting energy. Because ultimately, whatever somebody's experience is, whether they went to a PWI or a HBCU, it don't affect you at all. So why are you concerned about what their choice was?
That's true.
For whatever reason that they went.
It's choices, just like the going out thing. It's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Everybody makes different choices. You
the
gotta
person
respect
who
their
goes
choices.
out and spends $200 a night on drinks don't affect me at all. I don't care what they do, how they spend their money, how drunk they get off their $200. The fact that they got 2-3 drinks and I got 12, I don't care. It don't affect me in any way, shape, or form. All it does is make me reflect on my decision. So if someone has an issue with the fact that they didn't go to a HBCU and they went to a PWI, they might be offended by your comment because innately deep down inside they wanted to go to a HBCU. Or somebody else may feel like they had to go to a HBCU and don't have the experience of a PWI. Either way, people are free to do whatever they want to do. So you wasting time and energy arguing on Facebook about their choice is crazy.
Yeah, arguing about people's choices is who, it's okay for you to have the opinion on it either way. Because like I said in my post, people are grown, so you're going to do whatever it is you want to do. But what you own might not be what somebody else is on at the end of the day. I do have my strong feelings about HBCUs versus PWIs, just like I have my strong feelings about black folks openly criticizing black businesses when they don't give the same energy to white businesses to do the same thing. Because we've got white restaurants in the city that you're going to run up the same ticket at their establishment that you would at that same black establishment, and nobody complains about the price.
But you feel the way you feel about the HBCU because you went and you feel personally attacked because you chose to go to a HBCU when actually that person is just explaining their experience on their side, has nothing to do with you. So as most people do, we insert ourselves personally into everything somebody says when literally has nothing to do with you. So it's wasted energy because you wouldn't be so offended by their opinion if you were not HBCU born and bred. So you're offended, you feel personally attacked, but it's not a personal attack. It's their opinion. And even if they do make a personal attack, it's based on their opinion on them going to a PWI based on their experience. It's wasted energy, y'all.
That's fair. But send your kids to HBCUs. I'll leave it at that. Another, on a funny note, the not so funny part of this is what's been happening with Diddy lately and the allegations that have come down, and they're getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Don't know what's going to happen with him at the end of the day, but one of the casualties of that, you sent me a post, and I saw the post. I didn't really get into it because I thought it was crazy, but you sent me the post of Dylon from Making the Band. Everybody remembers Dylon from Making the Band, and everybody remembers the skit.
Spit Hot Fire.
Spit Hot Fire. And he's also the 5 greatest rappers of all time. Well, it turns out that the Dave Chapelle skit that he did on the Chappelle Show about Making the Band, which was probably one of the most watched and one of the funniest skits outside of Rick James and Charlie Murphy that was on the Chappelle Show. It was a classic. Dylon did an interview recently that said that Dave Chappelle skit ruined his career, and that no one wanted to sign him or do any business with him after Dave Chapelle told that joke about him, which I found to be extremely far-fetched, as with artists all the time, because I deal with artists all the time and people in business and people that throw parties. When you fail, a lot of times it's kind of easy for you to blame something or blame someone for what has happened to you. And in this instance, Dylon is blaming Dave Chapelle and that skit on him not being able to make it in the music industry. And I guess I don't know if, Babs, I don't know if Ines, I don't know if any of those other folks are blaming that skit because they were all, equally joked on.
Not equally. He went in on Dylon, honey.
And Dylon wasn't even in the skit. The other kids was actually in the skit, right?
Maybe that's why he got it so tough.
That might be why he got it so tough. And there might be a reason why you wasn't in the skit, Dylon, because maybe he wouldn't have gone so hard on you. But we talked about it before we actually started the podcast to see, the thoughts on. So do you feel in your heart of hearts, looking at it and listening to his explanation, do you think that skit had anything to do with the fact that we have not heard anything from him since then?
I don't know. There are probably some people out there who wouldn't fool with him just based on the fact of that it might be
from a joke.
But I know this: if he was spitting hot fire and it was
undeniable,
absolute, they'd fuck with him.
That's it.
Period. It wouldn't matter what Dave Chapelle did or said.
That's it.
Because if you hot, you hot. They gonna fuck with you. Clearly, we see that because country music don't want to fool with Beyonce, but they got to because everybody want it. So if they are gonna stay relevant, they gotta play it. So we see that when it's hot, it's hot.
Yep.
Or when you hot, you hot.
Yep.
Because I mean, people still saying that Beyonce ain't really country and she sounds like R&B singing country. Whatever. They playing it.
They playing
the
hell out of it.
She's still out here Beyonceing.
Yeah.
So, Dylan, if you were hot, you'd be undeniable, and they'd have to play it.
And it's not over with because, you know, this is probably the best time for you to go in and make music because
you should
now
be dropping something on somebody's streaming service tomorrow.
Dave Chapelle has not stopped you from dropping your own shit on Spotify. Now, I have not looked to see if there's anything there, and I will after we finish this podcast, but I have not seen any of Dylan's music on the streaming services, and there's nobody stopping you right now from putting music on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube. There's nobody stopping you from doing that right now. So
maybe he's just looking to get signed, which in today's world, why?
Why? Why would you do it? You have enough of a name to where you probably would be a few steps ahead of the average independent artist right now, and you're not that old. So you still have the time to be able to do that. Y'all were really young kids when y'all were on Making the Band. You have the time and the experience and the know-how to be able to do that right now, and you should. But blaming Dave Chapelle for these labels not rocking with you. Now, do I know the conversations that you had? Do I know for sure that nobody said anything to you? I don't know this. You said you actually had conversations with people who said, we can't fuck with you right now. That's what you say. But I honestly feel like if you were really jamming, this would be a foregone conclusion. You had enough of a name from that skit alone and from being on Making the Band that you could have done something. I think you fucking with Diddy did more for people not wanting to fuck with you than Dave Chapelle, if we're being honest, because nobody that has been connected to Diddy in any shape, form, or fashion has excelled in the music business. They're either dead, they're either in jail, they're either destitute, or they're either not making music anymore. You can't name one artist again that is still commercially viable right now after having dealt with Diddy. I know Day 26 is they got back together by whose urgency, I don't know, but they've gotten back together again, and they're doing something. But the skit was funny as hell. You were immortalized from the skit. Charlie Murphy got more famous after the Rick James skit. Mm-hmm. Rick James got more famous after the Rick James skit. Anybody that was involved, Prince, got more famous after the skit, even though he was already famous. Dave Chapelle helped to make people famous. So you're telling me that skit not only did not make you more famous, it made you less famous and made people not want to fuck with you? I just don't think the music was jamming. I think you were sending music, and I don't think it was jamming. Because if it was, they would have scooped you up at the time. Are you looking to see if you can find anything?
Yeah, I'm looking at songs. I just put songs, Dylan songs, and the last thing they got up here is from the band. In 2016. Have you decided not to make any more music? Have you decided that, you're only going to want to be on a label and you don't want to do music yourself? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand why, you are blaming Dave Chapelle for you not getting any work right now. He needs something. But you back now, bro. They talking to you.
Yep.
You're going viral.
Yep.
Now's the chance.
Now is the time. This is the time. I think he was on the Jasmine brand. Is that what he was on? If you on that, some people saw that. Now's the time for you to go ahead and drop some music. And if it's jamming, you're going to be all right. Just like I just saw Risa Tisa just signed with the CAA talent agency. So now she has a talent agent. She has been on the Tamron Hall show just from her 50-part TikTok series. She is now going to be, I don't know, a working actor, a working, I don't know, guest on TV shows. I don't know what it is, but she's represented by one of the biggest talent agencies in the world right now. So literally, when these things happen and you get this moment in time, you should be taking this opportunity now and you should be making good on it.
Yeah.
He should. At any rate, we're going to get out of here. We're going to enjoy a little bit more of the Tennessee whiskey, of the peanut butter
Tennessee
whiskey. Yes, that's the song.
Tennessee whiskey.
You're sweet Is that how I go?
Yeah, sing some more.
Uh-uh.
That's all the part you know.
Peanut butter whiskey.
That's got to be the most redone country song in history.
It is.
Everybody and their mama, like, in order to be considered serious, you got to do that song. Beyonce, do Tennessee Whiskey, girl.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
There's some good stuff.
It's going to be hard to top Kiki Wyatt, but give it a shot.
Yeah. But at any rate, of course, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to get on out of here. We're going to go enjoy some more of this good whiskey while you go and run this podcast back and listen to it again and share it with somebody else. Of course, we appreciate you doing it. We're inching up towards 1,000 subscribers, so continue to do that. So I am Kaz.
And I'm Queen.
And this is According to Kaz Queen. And we're going to holler at you guys next time. All right, peace and power.
Peace.